All right, did John Lynch want Justin Fields over Trey Lance? We'll hit that next. But first, we are brought to you by Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Get the brisket chili. Say hi to Damon, say hi to Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. You will not be disappointed with Pig in a Pickle. All right, let's talk a little bit about this. Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Sports Network on YouTube, who is a site that has 75,000 plus followers to it, or at least a Twitter, not a site, but a Twitter deal, a Twitter address that has 75, some Twitter entity, probably a singular person. The reports indicate that GM John Lynch wanted to select current Bears quarterback Justin Fields in the 2021 NFL Draft. However, San Francisco head coach Kyle Shanahan insisted on current 49er quarterback Trey Lance. Well, who knows? Who knows? Would the 49ers be better off with Fields than Lance today? I think the perception is they would. But Lance has got the better quarterback rating than Fields, despite the fact that Fields had a real, bust out, few bust out games last year with the Chicago Bears, and Lance is yet to really see the field for any length of time. This is like one of those things where who knows and who cares. I mean, really, it's like a who knows and who cares. One, I'm not Woodward Sports Network. Come on. I need more than that. Second of all, does it matter? I mean, does it really matter who wanted who? All that matters is that they drafted Trey Lance. They could have had Lance. They could have had Mac Jones. They could have had Justin Fields. And they went with Trey Lance. And now here we are a couple years later, and Lance is, whatever you think of Lance, good, bad, or otherwise, he was a raw quarterback coming out of North Dakota State. He's still raw. I think he's getting better. I think eventually he's going to get there, but it looks like it's going to take a while. And what we don't know is if the 49ers are going to demonstrate the patience to ride this thing out, because he's clearly not as good as Brock Purdy right now. So Purdy's going to start week 1 at Heinz Field against the Steelers, and he should. And based on last week, Lance is clearly not as good as Sam Darnold right now. So he's the third quarterback, making $5 million. Unless the 49ers decide they don't, or making $5 million, making $9 million. Most of that bonus money. Unless the 49ers can work out a trade and send him somewhere and decide to go with Brandon Allen as their third quarterback, which could happen as well. But this whole revisionist history of who wanted who and this and that, all we know, going into that draft, and I covered this thing on a day-to-day basis, talked to a lot of different people, not Shanahan, not Lynch, no firsthand knowledge of this thing. I'm guessing like everybody else. The one thing we can say definitively is they couldn't get Trevor Lawrence because he went 1, and they couldn't get Zach Wilson because he went 2. Now, when I talked to Steve Young, he said, hey, Zach Wilson would love to be a Niner. And I've seen interviews on tape leading into that draft where Zach Wilson said, hey, man, I'd love to be a 49er. It'd be great. And I believe, if I remember correctly, that Steve seemed to indicate that he felt like Kyle Shanahan really liked Zach Wilson. But what difference does it make? He wasn't available at the third pick. So the Niners had to pick between Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones, or they could have gone in a different direction altogether. But if they wanted to go quarterback, those were the 3 options. Justin Fields had a good workout, and the 49ers were supposedly impressed, and they looked very happy at his workout. But who knows? They went to Trey Lance's workout. They met with his family. I think they fell in love with Trey's characteristics as a leader, who he was as a person, his family, and his upside potential long term. The other thing about Fields coming out is everybody knew that he had great size and terrific accuracy at times and 4.4 flat speed. That's what he ran in the Indy, 4.40, which is burning fast, one of the fastest quarterback times in the history of the league. But he also took a ton of sacks, and he held the ball really, 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 really long time at Ohio State. So Was he going to be better in this system? A guy who holds the ball. Now he's more of a runner. I mean, if Kyle Shanahan had the dream of running his quarterback, then he probably should have gone with Justin Fields, because Fields is a 4-4 flat guy, and Trey Lance is, I would guess, I mean, if you're asking me to guess, he didn't run the 40 coming out, so we have no idea, which is a pretty good indication that he doesn't run particularly fast. Guys who are fast like to run the 40. Guys who are strong like to do the bench. Guys who are weak skip the bench. Guys who are slow don't run the 40. Trey did not run the 40. So I don't know what he runs. My guess is he runs 4.6, 4.7, not burning fast, but not slow by any chance, by any stretch, but not 4.40. Now, but the problem is, for Justin Fields, I mean, there's traits and then there's your film. And when you've been sacked a ton and you run 4.4 flat, people start to wonder, why? Is your clock broken? Do you hold it too long? Are you processing things quickly, or does it take you longer to process? And that's why you're getting sacked so much, despite the fact that you're almost a 4.3 burner that's like wide receiver speed. So I don't know. Justin Fields, if you caught him on the right day, looks very, very accurate. And he does have the 4.4 flat speed. And who knows? Maybe John Lynch liked him. I don't know. Does it really matter at this point? They took Trey Lance. And they have Brock Purdy now, Sam Darnold, Brandon Allen, and Trey Lance. So this is like one of those things where, it always comes out. Right now there's a perception. And the perception is that Fields has been great and that Lance has been bad. And so now it's like, do you put any credence in this? I don't, because it's not a credible source and there's not a second source. You're never going to get Lynch to say that on the record anyway. Hey, yeah, I was all in on Justin Fields, man. I can't believe the Shanahan guy over here wanted Lance. Come on. You're never going to get that. So at the end of the day, what are we really talking about? It's just a Twitter rumor that's bandied about with no credence to it. I mean, it's worth addressing, but not really on any serious level, because there's nothing really substantive there. I don't know who John Lynch liked. I assume he liked Trey Lance. Why? Because they drafted Trey Lance. I don't know who Kyle Shanahan liked, but I assume he liked Trey Lance. Why? Because they drafted Trey Lance. So who knows? And as far as their future, I actually think that Trey Lance has a really, really bright future. I think it's going to take some patience. I think it's going to take a year, maybe two. The big question is, are the Niners going to demonstrate that patience with Lance and see this thing through to completion? Or are they going to look at their cap and prioritize their cap needs in 2024 and see if they can find a way to move Lance for a player or a pick or both here at the cut down or at the trade deadline and move on and recommit to Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold and go forward with Purdy and Darnold and Allen? That's really the question. The rest of this is just chit-chat. Just chit-chat. Doesn't really matter right now. Doesn't matter. John Lynch, there could be a report tomorrow. John Lynch loved Davis Mills. Doesn't matter. All that matters is the question ahead, which is, I think Trey Lance is improving. To me, he's quite a bit better than last year. I think eventually he's going to get there. But when I say eventually, I think it might be 2 years in the distance. Are the Niners going to show that kind of patience? They liked him enough to draft him, but now that they have Brock Purdy, they got the quarterback on the rookie contract. Will they pay the freight on Trey as his contract escalates, as he develops, to see his potential through to fruition, or are they going to pivot and send him elsewhere? If you said, what's best for Trey? I don't know what's best for Trey. A lot of people think that it's best for Trey to play right now. Oh, he needs to play. He's got to play. Really? To me, he looks like a guy who's not ready to play. And what I know about the NFL is if you're not ready to play, your confidence is going to be destroyed in short order. So I'm kind of the belief that he needs to sit. And he needs to sit for another year, maybe two. He got better from last year to this year sitting. He'll probably get better from this year to next year sitting. But if he plays and doesn't play well and he gets hit a lot and sacked a lot and loses a lot of games, what does that do to his psyche? I think it hurts his psyche dramatically. What does that do to his career arc? I think it hurts him dramatically. So this is going to be a big question. Did John Lynch like Justin Fields? Not important. Do the 49ers go forward with Trey Lance beyond the cut down or beyond the trade deadline, or do they prioritize next year's cap and find a way to move off of him? That is important, and that's going to be riveting to see. The rest of this stuff, chit chat. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. Thanks to all you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.